welcome back to another 6-scale unboxing review. Yes, we have another Spider-Man Far From Home figure to look at today, and this one is actually potentially very cool. My favorite Iron Man suit of all time is the Mark 46, and I believe this figure is the Mark 46, but zombified by Mysterio. So this may be a figure I really end up liking, but obviously it's probably not a figure many collectors need to have on their shelf, but it is one that seems pretty unique that I could just slap in the Iron Man display to add some uniqueness in there. So this may be a figure that I end up really liking, but of course, it's definitely not one that I think many collectors need to have on their shelf, but it's a cool one that I can just slap into the Iron Man display and just add a lot more visual interest. So let me know what you think down in the comments, and if you enjoy this video, make sure to give it a like and hit subscribe for much more content like this. But now let's get into it. So yeah, this is one I am pretty curious about because it might look really cool. I mean, my favorite Iron Man suit zombified, could look awesome. Is it gonna fit in the collection though? Yeah, I don't know, because it is a bit different than what I would usually get, you know, like a regular Iron Man or something, but it is from Far From Home. It's from Mysterio's Illusion, and yeah, I'm still kind of excited to get this open. So taking a look at the box, you can see zombie Iron Man right there through the fishbowl of Mysterio's helmet, all this Mysterio effects down here, Mysterio's Iron Man Illusion, name of the figure. This is MMS 580. Going up here, Spider-Man Far From Home logo, side of the box, the figure info, and a bunch of cool looking cracked red, like, yeah, a little scary maybe to match zombie Iron Man. The back, you can see the Tech Spider logo in red and a bunch of info. Go on the other side, upside down, the figure info. Top of the box, figure info. Bottom of the box, movie logo upside down. All right. So now I'm curious what the artwork actually looks like on the inside. Taking the slip cover off real quick. Okay, there we go. Okay, don't want it to tip over. There we go. Yeah, and that does look pretty dang awesome right there. You can see, I think it lights up. We'll have to see. I'm not 100% sure. If it does, probably uses batteries, because that's what they always do for Iron Man figures, unfortunately. Well, not recent ones, I should specify. Some recent Iron Mans are USB, but the older Iron Man were pretty much all batteries, so that's why this one's an older one. So it's most likely just batteries, but that image, it looks awesome. You can see the grave in the background. You can see, of course, zombie Iron Man, or I don't even know, is it zombie Iron Man? It's a skull, so it's like dead Iron Man, but come back to life. Yeah, that's a zombie, so zombie Iron Man. You see like it's a illusion, so the illusion effects around him. Figure's name and info down below. I guess let's see what the size of this box looks like. You can see, yeah, long spider legs in black. Back of the box has Iron Man's logo and like a Mysterio effect. That's kind of cool. And then other side, yep, another long spider, and of course has a little cover here. You can see Mysterio right there making the illusion. Just flipping it around. Yeah, we can see the figure in the box. And it's interesting. For a lot of die-cast Iron Man figures, they usually put them in foam. And this one is not in foam. So that's kind of interesting. It's just in plastic. So let's go ahead and get it open. And actually, we get a little baby drone. That's cool, because last week, we actually opened up the homemade Spider-Man suit. This one, and that one came with a big drone. So this one has a little drone. So I'm kind of wondering, can I mix and match? Man, it's little things like that, getting cool accessories that can go with other figures. That sometimes makes me want to keep a figure, because this one, like I think I mentioned, yeah, I'm debating on. Have to see how it fits in the collection and everything, because this is one from my big Black Friday haul that we still need to look at. And gosh dang, I smacked the mic and everything. Apologies if there's a bunch of noise, but I didn't realize that was going to be that heavy. It looks like, yeah, this is 2 boxes. So the bottom box, this is actually a pretty cool looking display base. Ah, dang, I do really like that. Man, I might have to keep this figure. We'll have to see, because zombie Iron Man, very, very unique, very cool. Not sure if we'll ever get something like that again, especially because it's just from Far From Home, but we'll have to see. And now, of course, the figure himself. Okay, I'm just crunching the plastic, and go ahead, pop the lid off. Looks like he doesn't even get a lot of accessories, which dang. Could get lucky, you know, you guys finally get a shorter video, because since I've been trying this newer review style, like just talking while doing it and stuff, I know the videos have been longer. Hopefully you guys are enjoying them, but you know, just let me know down in the comments if you absolutely hate it. But here we go. And actually, is this one even die cast? Okay, I had to stop real quick and actually look it up. I did not realize this one wasn't die cast. I actually thought it was the same mold as, of course, you know, the Mark 46, just a little zombified, but not gonna lie, that's a lot more zombified than I thought. That's actually kind of cool. So it's plastic, I say as I hear a crunching sound. Okay, hopefully that's not broken. Does that peg back in? Okay, we'll mess with that later. Hopefully it doesn't fall out. But I kind of expected it to be die-cast, not gonna lie. It felt very heavy, but it's not die-cast. I was very, very wrong about that, but it looks cool. So we'll have to see, because I'm wondering, can you split them? Yeah, we have a lot to see. So I need to take all the plastic off them, then we'll check them out in more detail. Yeah, so honestly, the fact this lacks a die-cast really kind of put a big negative on there for me. I thought it was kind of like a die-cast Iron Man that was awesome looking, but I guess since they have all this damage and stuff on them, they didn't. Yeah, it's kind of a letdown. I thought it was going to. So now we're going to look at it as just, a big plastic figure. Of course, the usual. But that is a little disappointing. So like I said, a big negative for me. And looking at it, the details are pretty soft. Like, they're not really finely detailed or anything, which is okay, especially for the time this was made. But it would have been cool if we had really sharp details. Like, the skull could look a lot better. It looks very plasticky, like one of their older bases, which was just a big chunk of plastic with some detail and some paintwork. Like, it looks fine. It just could be better, especially looking at it up close. But from a distance on the shelf, it should get the job done. So you can see that skull in there. It does look really good. There's that big crack in there. You can see all this like metal broken underneath the actual outfit. It does look kind of cool. Looking at the back, all this denting and everything in there. It's interesting in the movie. I wonder why they chose the Mark 46 to have them like dug up in, because obviously you didn't wear this in game. So yeah, I don't know. Is that the one Mysterio knew the most or something? I don't know. But going down to the chest, he has these big gashes up there. You can see the metalwork underneath. Like, the sculpting here for the plastic is very, very good. So I guess that's why they didn't go for die cast, just so the sculpt work could be all plastic so they could get the fine details. So I don't know. I guess I'm just making excuses for it. But then again, I wish we had the die cast, because that would have been cool. You see all this like crumpling and stuff in the red. It looks pretty cool. The big chest symbol right there, I believe it lights up as well. We'll see that when we put the batteries in. He has this big gash out of the side of him here. Bunch of bent up sections for the gold. Now that I'm looking at it in detail, it does look pretty cool. There's a bunch of like dirt and grime everywhere as well. Like all the metal, look at that. It's shiny. The paint job, he has that satin paint job for the red, but there's a bunch of dirt and grime. This shoulder is like all messed up. Of course, the shoulders have that articulation, and move them out of the way. He gets this back piece. I don't know why it keeps falling out. We'll just set it to the side for now. Yeah, I do really like the details. I have to admit, those are really cool. The hands he currently has on there are the articulatable finger hands. So you do get a swap out hand. He has some wires in different places, so be careful with those pieces. Like this piece hanging off was a wire. It's a little posable. Yeah, it actually is posable. So you can have it like hanging back. Yeah, so you can actually pose the wire. That's actually kind of cool. I like that. So if you have his arm out, you like hang it back and down like he's rushing forward, something like that. Just be careful with them. You don't want to break them off. Get some more exposed wires in there. See that blue wire right there? Those ones, yeah, they're all like a plastic wire-like material all around there. The red wire, green wire. This one here to that piece that hangs off right there. It was like tucked in there, but I think you can just pull it out, do whatever you want, have it hanging off. I kind of like have it hanging off like that. That's kind of cool looking. This side, very asymmetrical. Okay, the shoulder's already popping off again. But yeah, okay, I think that's what I was trying to say. A lot of the pieces are kind of like the die-cast ones. They move like that. The arms, yeah, they don't really pop out, but they're on those kind of like hinges a little bit, or the sort of butterfly joints. You see all this, just the dirt, grime everywhere. This forearm's all messed up. Articulatable fingers on that side as well. Yeah, I show you that piece falling off. A bunch of metal, just exposed metal everywhere. This red wire holding this piece on. I definitely like that the wires are a little posable. Bunch of dents and stuff along the legs. This knee pad's missing a bunch of pieces. This leg is like almost all exposed. You can just see the metal in there. Literally Iron Man. Like, is that something too that he actually didn't really show Tony underneath a lot, except for the skull? It was basically all iron underneath. Because I don't know, could his leg even fit in there like Tony's? Yeah, I don't know, but I like all that detailing. The wires and everything. Oh, that wire, yep, kind of exposed in there. The feet all dirty and pieces everywhere. It does look very, very cool. The bottom, surprisingly, the bottom of the feet are very clean. I mean, like almost no dirt on them. Kind of interesting choice there. Going to the back of them now. Yes, that's the piece that keeps falling out. We'll put it back in real quick. I don't know why it keeps falling out, but it does. Back of the head, like I showed you, was pretty dented. A bunch of dirt. It's not as damaged back here. They left it kind of basic. And then, of course, some pieces exposed, a little bit of dirt. So not as crazy as the front. like wires, big chunks and stuff, but it still looks really, really good. See a bunch of dirt and everything down here. Some like denting and stuff on the legs, just mostly dirt and stuff back here. This, you can see that honeycomb pattern like underneath the armor, exposed metal. It does look really, really awesome. I have to admit, figure looks really awesome. Just really wish it was die cast, but then again, all the plastic sculpt work and everything is really, really, really well done. And let's start the accessory section with his hands. So these hands, of course, I showed you articulate, but he does get the repulsor style hands. So you can see they're angled in there. They're a bit hollow, so the light will actually shine through. And they're just repulsor hands, so they'll peg in like that, have him aim in, repulsing. Might do one of his hands with these, so he could be kind of like aim in the collection or something. Really curious how I'm going to end up posing him long term. But yeah, I do like that. I'm saying long term because, not going to lie, actually, this is a very cool looking Iron Man. It's really starting to grow on me. And of course, we also get this little drone right here. I really like that. This is a cool looking piece. It is basically a smaller version of that big one we took a look at. We'll get the homemade suit out here. Take a look at the big drone, little drone, see like what we can do, like displaying the two of them. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I kind of want to get him out here just to do that, just to see how he's going to look. But you see here, translucent blue piece right there, kind of showing the projection. He has all the guns and everything. He's that kind of gray color. A little bit of weathering on there, like a little blast on there, some scratching, everything on that. The guns, and then little ball peg for him to peg on. How he actually flies, the little fans or wherever the heck they use to fly. And we also get some effects that I am telling you right now, these are going back in the box. These are supposed to go onto the figure as like hologram pieces. They're basically a clamshell. They're kind of like those lame looking pieces that came with the homemade suit and the drone. I didn't like them at all. They look plastic. They look pixely. Sure, it adds to the illusion, but then again, I don't want that type of look in the display. So these ones, I'll put them on the figure right now, but they're not really going to stay on them. I'm definitely taking them off. Okay, you know what? These are all for the legs. I was trying my best to put them on. I hate them. I can't really get them on to where they stay too well. Like some of them, like, yeah, that one's really stuck in there. I absolutely hate those. Yeah, I hate these little effect pieces. Do you guys like them? I don't know. They add just like a little bit of hologram look. Like if we grab that big one again, just, I guess, put it here where it's supposed to go. Do you even like that? I personally don't. I think it really detracts from the figure. Looks really bad. You have to bend the tabs to put them on. I was trying and I ended up just not liking them. Yeah, these are just going back in the box for me. And now for the base, and I gotta be honest with you guys, this base rocks. This looks so dang cool. Like you see Anthony Edward Stark back there, his grave. Like sure, the details up close are pretty soft, but the worst part of this, to be honest, is the blue down there, the pixelation, because you have the little effect piece to put on his legs, like he's still being formed, I guess. But I hate those effect pieces. Kind of wish the blue wasn't there to show the pixels. But other than that, this looks great. You see the slightly translucent green fog from Mysterio. You see the flooring there. There's where he's like broken out of the grave, which looks really cool. You have the hole there for the flight pole we'll take a look at in a minute. But it looks really good. And it actually lights up, so I'll have to grab some batteries, put them in here. We'll test out the light up feature, although it's battery powered, so not going to work long term in the collection. But I do kind of like the base. It does look really cool. It's kind of big, which is okay because it has a very dynamic type style to it. And honestly, just having that Anthony Edward Stark, that's just, man, that's just really cool to see. And now, of course, we get the flight pole right here, the little waist clamp. This one, for this figure, it's all plastic, so I really don't think it's going to damage it. Just be careful where you're clamping it, though. Don't clamp it to any of those loose pieces or anything that might actually break off the figure. But it just pops on there. Pop the lid back on. Take it, and we screw it in place. Okay, it's going to fall over. But just want to screw it in place right there, and then it should hold once it actually screws in. There we go. One thing, too, I didn't mention, this base, right when I opened it up and took it out, it stunk. I don't know what that smell was, but it was stinky. So just keep that in mind, I guess. This base smells like a zombie was coming out of it. So very, very interesting there. But yeah, I don't know why this one is not wanting to secure. I mean, actually, I think it is secure. It's just still twisted. Nope. There we go. It tightened. All right. Right when I'm saying that, of course. But there we go. Got a flight pole in there. And we have to add that little drone. So now we have that cute little guy right here and has a little ball peg. go ahead and pop it in here. All right. Okay, that I was hoping for a satisfying pop, but I heard and now it's in there. This, of course, since it's on a ball peg, you could rotate it, have them aiming at wherever you have, Illusion Iron Man. Or if you want to make it just a straight zombie Iron Man, I like that you can pop this off and just have cool smoke effects around a zombie Iron Man. That is pretty cool, and the base pretty awesome looking. And now it's time for the worst part of any battery powered Iron Man from Hot Toys. You got to take a bunch of panels off, unscrew them, put these batteries in. Sometimes you got to like push them in there. You got to get your tweezers, really push them down to make them secure to each other, because you need like a stack of 3 sometimes. It's a painful, annoying process, and I'm really glad they're starting to go USB-C, so you can actually light them up long term too, because you put these on after like what, a couple hours, it's going to be dead. So I'll do it just for the video, but just know I hope in the future they just go fully USB-C for any figure. And you know what, real quick before we do the batteries, I found these on the bottom of the box. I was looking at the instructions and I didn't realize he came with these blue effects. So you get blue effects for his legs, you get more blue effects for the base. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not even gonna bother to take these out. They're plasticky, they don't look great. I really don't like them. I mean, I just think they're a waste, to be honest. They're clamshell type plastic, and look at that. They don't really add a whole lot in my personal opinion. I mean, I don't know. I'm debating. I'm like, I know for the review, I probably should show, you know what? Yeah, so I added the blue effects, and what do you guys think? Am I justified in saying they look kind of lame? Like, I just don't like what they add to the base. It just doesn't, I don't know. I mean, it makes that blue there make more sense, but it doesn't look great to me. They're kind of look cheap. They're very plasticky. I mean, they're detailed, they're sculpted. I just really don't like them. So just let me know what you think about them. For me, they're coming right off right now and just going back in the box. Well, this kind of stinks. So I put all the batteries in, I turned them all on, and this is what we got. So let me turn the lights off in the light box. That's it. The hands, the mask, I guess because it's an older figure or something, but the batteries are dead. They just, yeah, only these ones are working for the chest. Probably not for long, but there you go. Those are supposed to light up for the propulsors. The eyes are supposed to light up. I know I could buy different batteries and put them in there, but this is what we get for the video. And unfortunately, only the chest and then the little accents right there are lighting up right now. It's fine though, because I didn't plan on lining them up in the collection anyway. The batteries don't last very long. And that's very evident by this right here. At the very least though, the batteries in the base work because they're my own batteries. They don't come with AAA batteries. And dude, that actually looks awesome. Looks a lot better in person. Let me see if I lower down. Yeah, the brightness of the camera, you can kind of see that green color it is where all the light up features are. It looks really, really, really good in my opinion. Trying to bring the brightness back up. That's probably a good spot. But there's also the second version, which this one, let's see what it does. Okay, it blinks a little bit. Looks like, yeah, so different smoke effects blink. That actually looks really cool. You know, if we make it, you know what would make it a bit better? If it was USB, so it could be doing this permanently to the collection when you turn on everything. That would be absolutely awesome, but you know, maybe a 2.0 or something in the future, because it looks cool now, but it definitely could have used USB because the batteries are going to die. So for me, it's always just going to be off. Since they are basically the same suit, you know, just one zombified, here we have the Mark 46 zombie version, Mysterio illusion version, whichever one you want to call it. And we have the regular Mark 46. So you can see the design overall, just kind of going through that real quick. Go back up. Yeah, is pretty much the same, but also very, very different because the mold and everything is different because obviously they took this suit, tore it up and everything, or not tore it up, but like ripped it up and sculpted and added damage and dirt and everything everywhere. So it's quite a bit different. This figure is die cast, and like I said, the Mark 46 is my favorite Iron Man suit. Looks awesome. I have the battle damage on the chest right there from when Cap took out his chest, but then again, doesn't really make sense, but it just kind of looks cool. I had some visual interest to the figure. So side by side, both of them look pretty awesome actually, and honestly, you can't really tell it's not die cast, the zombie Iron Man. Obviously, it would be cool if it was, because in hand, you obviously know, and in the back of my head, I'll know. But it's honestly not the end of the world. And I actually kind of like this figure. It looks pretty cool. I like that pose I have him in, kind of walking towards the camera, I guess, you know, being like a zombie. So obviously you don't want this one coming for you, but then again, you know, you can see, of course, the Mysterio Illusion Iron Man and Mysterio Illusion homemade suit. And you can see they both come with a drone. So you have this big one with a homemade suit, looks pretty cool. And then the drone back there, the little small one. They look very, very similar, just a little baby shrunk down one, which is kind of cool to see. And just side by side, I do like how they both look. Also on the homemade suit, I put in those illusion gas style webs, which look really cool. I just love the visual interest they add to the figure. So honestly, in the display, maybe I'll put Zombie Iron Man behind him or something. Also for the posing section, I kind of want to do a pose where he's like walking towards the homemade suit. So that could also look pretty cool. In the end, I actually did end up liking this figure. It turned out to not be die cast, which was a bit of a letdown, but the sculpt work on the plastic looks incredible. I love all that exposed and dented metal just like underneath the suit. And of course, there's a bunch of weathering. And my favorite part is the skull that you could see. Just, yeah, I wish there was more bone around the figure in general, but that's not how it looked in the movie. At first, I thought this would be another figure that we're looking at from the backlog that we end up moving out of the collection afterwards. But honestly, I decided that I'm actually going to keep this one, at least for now. It's very unique, and although when I do get my Module cases in and have a full continuous row for the Marvel display, this one might look a bit out of place and maybe I'll change my mind then. But for now, at least, I'm very glad I have it. It fits in perfectly with a homemade suit since this one gets a little baby drone and the homemade suit has a big old drone that he can stand on. So is it a necessary figure? No, definitely not, but it's definitely a cool one that I'm very glad that I have. Plus, it helps that's the Mark 46, which is my all-time favorite Iron Man suit. So of course, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a like and hit subscribe for much more content like this. Check out another figure review in the playlist that'll pop up, maybe the homemade suit review, or check out the collection tour to see how my collecting journey is going. As always, thank you to the channel members. If you want to become a channel member, click the join button and you'll see your name at the end of reviews amongst some other benefits. I look forward to talking to y'all again very soon, but until next time, stay 6 scale.